Hello there, I'm Lance with Five Star Host, and I want to go over some items pertaining to the topic, the dark side of short-term and midterm rentals. And even though the title sounds a little dark, it is a lot of profit to be made in these two niches or these two types of rentals. We've done both and been very successful. But I want to share some tips to help you avoid, some pitfalls and some costly mistakes. All right, so the first thing we want to get down to is the breakdown between the two. Midterm rentals, as you know, is a cross between, long-term traditional rentals and short-term, hence midterm. Midterm rentals is pretty much 30 days or more, 30 days to a year. A lot of times we get midterm rentals. Well, most of our rentals are midterm rentals, and they're corporate tenants, nurses, people that have an assignment for the most part, and they look to stay in close proximity to the units that we have to ensure they can get to and fro to work without any problems. With the midterm rentals, the ones we manage, they come fully furnished. We pay for all of the utilities, Wi-Fi, water, electricity, and they just come to bring their clothes, right? And they leave. Unlike the short-term rentals are pretty much, within the name, short. They stay from the units from Friday to about Sunday. That's typical for a lot of our units that we have. In some cases, a week or 2 weeks. We probably had one person out of a lot of our stays that did about 2 or 3 weeks, but for the most part, it's just a few days. However, the short-term rentals it takes work. It does. It takes a lot of work. However, I mean, it does yield profit. However, if you don't like the hustle and bustle and the going back and forth, midterm rentals may be a better suit for you. I'm not saying anything's wrong with short-term rental. It's just you got to be prepared. Now, you can do this two different ways. You can hire a company to manage it for you, or you could do it yourself. And well, all depends on the location and turnover. You can manage your own, short-term rental. However, we manage the ones we have, and it was work because a lot of activity based upon the location. Main questions that people have pertaining to these rentals is, from what I'm seeing, is just a really skeptical concern about the type of guest. And to be honest with you, between the two short-term rentals, it's kind of hard to control who's going to rent these units. But there are red flags that you can look for. You're going through eviction checks, you're going through the screening process, and they're going to supply a lot of information. Inquiries can come in. They're going to talk about what they're doing, how long they need the property for, how many pets they have, if they have any other guests. It's just really upfront and open. And for people that's really concerned, that helps ease and really sets peace, knowing that they're coming for a profession and you don't have to worry about parties or anything like that. And that may be the area you want to take, or the road you want to take based upon the rentals. Short-term rentals are different. Red flags is, somebody booking your property and you don't know what they're booking it for, which I'll kind of give you some insight on that. If you're looking to navigate with short-term rentals, and that's something you want to do and take the risk, if you're filled with some anxiety and you're concerned, you may want to turn off the instant booking. Instant booking is an option that, you can turn on or turn off. Turn on, of course, anybody can book your unit based upon the parameters you give it. If it's a 2-day stay or if it's a 1-day stay. Or you can turn it off and kind of look through and see who's renting your property, look at the reviews and that kind of thing. Our point of view is, we wouldn't want somebody that's going to cause issues in our unit in the neighborhood that we're in. I just think that's not fair, especially you have kids and that kind of thing. So for a while, we had it off, and I was just up at nights, especially when the ring starts going off after 12, you don't know what's going on, and it just wasn't peaceful. So we turned it on, and we were, screening the tenants and that kind of stuff. And we had a few that kind of came through, got through the cracks where it was some issues, and we took a chance. And a lot of times you get that gut feeling that, hey, they're going to be a bad guest. It's going to be a bad guest in most cases. But yeah, so if you're filled with anxiety, if you want to do and take the risk of the short-term rentals, just make sure you turn off the instant booking option. It's going to save you so much time, peace, and you can kind of evaluate who's booking. Like I said before, just red flags. Somebody books your place, very last minute, same day, no explanation, no details. You may have some issues versus somebody that's booking it 3 months in advance, a year in advance. Hey, I'm coming to check my kids into college, and or I'm coming to a graduation close to one of the forts, or not forts, but bases. It's just more information kind of puts you at ease versus no information. It's always critical and really sets apart people who are renting a unit, so you know who you're dealing with. As I mentioned before, if you know that you're has some anxiety issues, I would lean towards midterm rentals. It's kind of, for me, I call it the lazy landlord, because most of your work is going to be on the front end, screenings and going back and forth with the tenant or the guest. And once that's done, it's just giving them check-in information. One thing we don't do, we don't give them addresses, even if they request for it, because we have no information. We don't know who this person is, what their intentions are. So we don't give addresses to any tenant or any inquiries. Once they go through the process and they're vetted, that's when we give the information once they check in. And for our case, we do a lot of flips. So a lot of our rental units, besides the ones that are traditional that we have, everything's new. So if we do get a call, usually it's just something that's small, dishwasher, maybe a leak, whatever, or if it's cold outside, pipes are frozen. So prayerfully, that'll be your situation too if you're getting into this. Or maybe it's your previous property and you kind of know it inside and out and you kind of know what to expect. Just make sure everything's done properly so you can minimize the calls. Now, for my last point, we did have a situation in this area that another host experienced. In this case, it was fatal. Apparently, a group of kids got the parents to check a unit, and I believe the parents checked them in and didn't stay there. And within the first 24 hours, 3 people got injured, and the 4th one was fatal. And very scary, just to know that can happen. I think we went through 3 emotions. We went through shocked, scared, and then frustrated. Because sometimes, based upon the presentation I have here in this video, you can set some parameters to kind of try to avoid that based upon, these traits. So just wanted to put that in there just to kind of give you an oversight on, what to expect when you're doing these rentals. It's a great business. It's definitely a cash cow on steroids. If you find the right location, we have a seminar and classes. We do one-on-ones as well, where we can help you get everything set up. It actually is pretty easy, but when you're starting out from scratch or you're making a transition from being a traditional tenant or a traditional landlord, it can be a little overwhelming. So to have somebody hold your hand through the process would help. I'm excited about your journey as it pertains to this new rental business. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.